Out of all my videos reviewing Part 5's arcs, 3 out of the 4 of them are to do with the Execution team. As you'd expect, I like this group quite a bit, so today I've decided to compile my thoughts on what I consider to be JoJo's best group of antagonists in one place. Enjoy! One of the things I like about the Vento Aureo antagonists is how far they're willing to go to put their lives on the line, and the Execution team show this off perfectly. The Stardust Crusaders villains for the most part were against the crew for a paycheck, and as a result weren't that determined in their work. Similarly in Part 4, quite a few villains were scared shitless of Josuke by the end, and it's very clear that compared to the main antagonist, they're pretty pathetic. The Execution team on the other hand went above and beyond the call of duty as they fought until their bodies simply couldn't go on, which complements just how batshit crazy Vento Aureo is very well. Vento Aureo may seem like more of the same of Part 3's stand of the week point A to B format, but I found that the part cranked everything up to 11. A lot of the memorable moments, from Giorno stomping Gyatso's head in to Nero's small victory against Diavolo, all came from these characters' unwavering resolve, and I couldn't rank Vento Aureo as highly as I do if it weren't for these guys. The reasons for the team's determination is just as interesting as the end result. Seeing the group's despair regarding their comrades' deaths shows us a far more human side to them, as they're not entirely driven by money like many other villains. Because of this, we can draw a lot of similarities to Bucciolati's group, which works well considering the grey morality of the part. The protagonists aren't perfect characters and certainly have their flaws at times without a doubt. The Execution team aren't good people either, but in all honesty they're not that much worse than the main cast. I found myself rooting for them quite a bit in these fights, and it kept me engaged in the final result all the more due to how similar I found both teams to be, with there being no clear evil between the two of them. If these two teams talked things out, I feel like we could have got an alliance forming, which would have been awesome to see in the final fight against Diavolo. Writers, get to work on this fanfic. As I mentioned in the Part 5 video I did many months ago, the Execution team as an entity stood out as this was the first time in JoJo that we had a third party intercepting both the antagonists and the protagonists. It was a nice twist to the series that stopped it getting too formulaic and kept the team unpredictable right to the very end due to them having no allegiance to anyone outside of their group. One great example of this is Nero fighting Doppio, which was completely unexpected, being one of my favourite fights due to the lack of plot armour present in both characters, which kept me engaged to see which group would come out on top. Right until the very end, the team's resolve was far beyond any villains we'd seen, and they got the last laugh as Diavolo was left in a poor state. The group will forever stick with me due to the similarity to Bucciolati and co. They were quite possibly the strongest minor villains in the whole of JoJo, and were dangerously close to killing absolutely everybody. I love everything about them, and I'm very excited to see them when the Part 5 anime comes out. Thanks for watching everybody, I'll see you next time.